Hello everybody and welcome back to another anti-MLM video. I'm Christine. I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to take a look at the bonus training part of the Optavia Kickoff call I reacted to last time, and I just continued filming. So for me, no time has passed. For you, possibly a week whenever you see that video, maybe even longer than that. Today we're going to take a look at the bonus training, which was just an additional 24 minutes of a really lengthy kickoff call. That's why I split this up, and this is a separate video. So we are going to take a look at a bonus training that Optavia coaches did at the beginning of the year. That was January 1st, to set themselves and the company and the coaches up for success. And this time they're going to share 9 pieces of information, 9 hacks. What did they call it? 9? No. 9 facts. Yeah, welcome to my world in 2026. 9 facts that will guarantee massive growth and explosion if applied. So, are you ready? Then we will dive right into this bonus training. Let's go.
9 facts that will guarantee massive growth and explosion if you apply what Marcus, Sue, and Jen shared with you, if you apply what Kevin and Gina shared with you, if you apply what Dr. A, Stephanie, Nick shared with you. And so let's lead off to number 1. I tell you, we should have started it, Dan, like with a countdown of 9 to 1, but we're going to start off with number 1.
Yeah, I already have a counter in the original video. I will link it up here if you want to take a look. There was nothing of value on how to run a successful network marketing business that was shared. They shared some new bonuses, how you can make more money if you sell more. It was mostly inspirational boo-woo, lots of shaky cameras. Quite entertaining, I have to say. So if you're interested in that, it's long, but I think it's worth it if you just want to have it playing on the side. They have really cringy backgrounds and they're eerily excited about the worst things. Let's take a look if the shaky camera will still happen here. Almost every single person speaking had a shaky camera, as if they're not able to hold themselves up with the Optavia fuelings, and they need to rest on a desk because they don't consume enough calories over the course of the day. I'm purely speculating here, but some people got uncomfortably close to the camera, and most people had to rest on their desk, and their computers were bobbling along with them, as if you had a bobblehead in the back of your car. Fun, if that's what you want to have in your car, but not when you're on a call. I would prefer a steady visual. So, let's get into the bonus training. Number 1, let's go.
Here we go. For this to work, it's time to make your after photo your before. 3.0 story is currently loading. Dan, every time I see you log into Zoom, you're getting more and more shredded. Speak to the power of our 3.0 story of completely changing our metabolic story currently as it is, even as coaches.
Yeah, and let me say this, and many of us have felt this because I've been down this road where I wasn't where I wanted to be, and I'm using a before picture from 8 years ago, 9 years ago, and I can feel that, and it affects your confidence. It affects how you show up. So wherever you're at from that starting point, whatever has happened in the past where you've come to, let that be a new starting point. That's your new before picture. So what's your after picture going to look like? Like, what's your vision of that?
And really, what are those decisions? It just so happens that this call's on January 1. New year, new you. I had a story come up today, Dan, and you know how Facebook gives you those little memories?
Mhm.
It was a picture of 2 years ago today. The story, actually, it was last night. It was December 31st, and it was a picture of a cocktail, and it was a Moscow Mule, and it said, my last one for 4 months. Because T and I, at the time, we didn't know about 3.0. We were just like, we're ready to completely change our story. We committed to that. We haven't picked up alcohol. I think I've had 2 or 3 drinks since then. Not saying it's good, not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's amazing how I laid it down for 3 to 4 months to where I look at where I'm at today. We completely changed our story in 90 days to 120 days. And so decisions made today on January 1st and implemented, I'm telling you right now, your income in April will thank you for your decisions made and your lines drawn in the sand January 1. Huh, Dan?
Yeah, and I would just say this: if you are a 3.0 coach and you want to come with us, if you don't have a current metabolic scan or readings from a smart scale, you got to have those. You got to know where you're at and what's under the hood, not just the scale, like Doug talked about, and then also paint a picture of what do you want to do with those numbers, and get super clear on your plan to get there.
Yeah, there's no issue in it starting tomorrow, folks. There's no more issue in it. There's no I'm
No.
going to do my best. There's a 3.0 era as I'm drawing a line in the sand. I'm finding a DEXA or an embody. I'm getting my labs done. I'm in full commitment, and I'm going to publicly have accountability too. It's, a 2.0 era coach, Dan, I think kind of says, I know what to do. I just need to do it. No, a 3.0 era coach says, my coach might not even be coaching, but someone in my support team, somebody on this call, I'm going to hold myself accountable to because I'm rewriting my story in the next 90, 120 days. All right, number 2. 9 out of 10 of your friends are a candidate for our program. They are not stepping foot in the gym. And if they do, there's memes going around right now about gyms being full and they'll be empty again in 2 weeks. It is also true for the few that will step foot into a gym. And I tested this last year to realize if you want to get America healthy and the world, don't open a gym. Be a metabolic reset coach. It pays better. It's a whole lot more fun. You can impact everybody because everybody is not going to the gym. They are scared. They need a coach. They need someone in their hands. 9 out of 10 of our friends are our candidates for our program, Dan.
That is bogus. Yes, the gyms are exceptionally crowded at the beginning of the year. Just start mid-January. I said that if I ever signed up for a new gym, I never took any of the bonus payments or months off they offer at the beginning of the year. Because no, I typically started then in March, for example, but to claim, hey, the gyms are enemy because they're competition for them, for people actually working out, taking care of their health on their own, spending their money in the gym. It's not a bad thing. You need to create your own circumstances, under what circumstances that might work for you, but it's money that is not going towards an Optavia coach who is not a professional coach, could just be a layman or a laywoman who has no clue about workouts or about health, about nutrition, about dietary impact, or being a registered dietitian. Probably hardly anybody in that company is. None of these people are professionals in their field, whereas when you're in a gym, typically you also have access, maybe limited access, but still access included in your membership to professionals who can help you and show you how to do exercises properly. So it's not a bad thing. It's also up to you how you want to work out. Conveniently located gyms, good timing for you. How do you prep yourself? What do you need? The easier, the better. But it's taking money away from them, because if somebody goes to the gym, they will very likely not go and put money into an Optavia program because that money is spent elsewhere.
Yeah, I had somebody earlier because we were going down a list of their friends. They were trying to hit a goal yesterday and last day of the month, and they got to one name that was on their list, and I go, "Yeah, I don't think that what we have would really work for them." And it was this concept of what the coach had in their head about why or why not, and it was completely not true. And so ask yourself, first of all, if their body fat percentage is more than 5% over optimal, do you know their visceral fat number? I've been sending people these metabolic scales before I do health assessments with them, saying, "Hey, jump on there, get your numbers, and let's have a conversation." And once they see those numbers, so I think Megan did this, and most people would have looked at Megan. She did the 5-1. So whether it's 5-1 or something else, we have something for everyone. Everybody can improve their health, but she was what we'd call skinny fat. Nobody would have looked at her and saw her as a candidate, but she felt a million times better after doing this. So you're withholding that gift from people when you count them out.
Yeah, people are so confused right now. The last 2-3 years, all kinds of online fitness coaches come out of the woodworks, and they claim to have the 30-day abs to 28-day abs, and I mean there's just all these programs, and people just need simple. They need to start with something simple. They need the food shipped to their house. They need someone who's walked a mile in their shoes, and they need someone who's going to lead them all the way through transition, which is
Mm,
why it's so important that
mm,
we, our 3.0 era, as a coach, we lead through transition ourselves so we can now lead everyone else through transition. And America, we're going to see a revolution, Dan. We'll start seeing it by, I think, August. We're going to start to see these early stories come all the way through, and it's going to be mind blowing. And then I can't even believe the amount of commissions that Nick is going to have to pay out. So we're on this call, like literally, we're having the same call a month from right now, today. I can't wait to see the compensation and bonuses that have been paid out by this group. It's going to be incredible.
But Optavia is just another of those programs. Yeah, they don't promise weight loss or abs in 90 days, but it's a pricey program with apparently food that doesn't taste very well, and it's excessively pricey for not even people being able to purchase real food. They call their own stuff fuelings. So it's just another program, but you got to make yourself and your audience and your clients believe that What you have to offer is different, and why it is worth it and why you need it, when in reality, let's face it, there are so many ways you can lose weight or you can live a healthier life. A lot of people do that without help, without external support. Some people might want or need external support, but in my opinion, I wouldn't want to reach out to somebody who doesn't have an understanding of that at all. In that case, I can do it myself. If I were to reach out to a coach, I would pay that person money so that the individual can guide me through certain exercises. If I were to reach out to a dietitian, somebody who knows their craft, then I will do that as well. If I want to get my data taken because I believe it is good, and those scans, those metabolic scans that he pointed out, they're also very finicky. They're not necessarily very accurate. I would personally reach out to a medical professional and really work with the known standards that are, in my opinion, the most reliable. I would not reach out to a salesperson who just wants to sell me the pricey products but has no clue about the actual information themselves, because they haven't been trained in this field. There are certain jobs where I think a degree, having studied, having gone to the university, knowing your craft might be overrated. There are a good amount of jobs where that is not the case. In the health and wellness industry, I would argue it is different. I would also not want to go to a lawyer who's never studied but just has opinions. So that's kind of the equivalent here with Optavia, in my opinion, with those coaches. Highly motivated, but typically under-deliver. And their income disclosure statement, I showed it in the last call, shows it, that they don't even offer a business model that is attractive for most people, because most people in Optavia make very little money, as is typical for all MLMs. And that's the essential driver. The people at the top need clients, they need people to sell to, they need people to join their team, who recruit people, who recruit people, who recruit people. We know the drill. That's the essential part. And Optavia doesn't even do a good job, but the people on this call need to make themselves and their teams believe that they have something to offer that is special, that is not like the other health and wellness programs that won't do much for people, not recognizing they're just involved in a program that is just like the others.
All right, the income our company will pay you is insane if you want to do the work. Dan, there's nobody better than DTW, I think you hashtagged years ago. Talk about
Do the work, baby.
It's easy to have the dream and the bonuses, but this is going to be work.
It is, and if you think about it, it's not hard work. I mean, it can be uncomfortable, but it's not like this is labor intensive. Like, you have to be super smart to figure this out. Is you got to ask yourself, if this is the $1 million question for some of you on this call right now, if you can answer this question, this will solve 90% of your growth problems if you have them in this business, and use it with your coaches. Okay, are you doing the work? Yes or no? It's super clear, don't BS. But then number two, we skip this question. If you're not doing the work, why are you not doing the work? What is it that's really keeping you from doing it? There is money, like the team is like, our company's throwing money at everybody. I can't believe the new coach bonuses, I think it was $150 when I started 11 years ago. With all the new bonuses for the impact multiplier, I think it's like 30 times what it was when I started. So figure out why aren't you doing the level of work that it takes to succeed?
Well, the work demands accountability, because where creativity flows, authenticity and congruency has begun to be formed a habit. And so what's going to take place, and also I think it's cool, Dan, there's only 150 people that's logged off this call. So we're in bonus time.
Oh man, I didn't realize
An hour
that.
and 15 minutes. And it tells me the hunger of this organization to make an impact and change their 2026 and create a 3.0 story. So congratulations to each and every one of you.
And I believe people are actually hungry in that company. No wonder if you have those horrible feelings. Optavia, by the way, throws their own coaches under the bus, because this is the disclaimer, and I will also show you the income disclosure statement so that you can see it in this call as well. What they say there is BS. Optavia doesn't pay exceptionally. It's your typical downline gaslighting and shaming, because Optavia says the income testimonials in this presentation are not representative of the average earnings that coaches achieve with Optavia. Only a very small numbers of coaches will achieve income that is within the range of this testimonial, and Optavia makes no guarantee of financial success. That is pretty much telling us, and it's a necessary compliance and legal disclaimer, and it's good that they're popping this up. They also did that at the beginning of the call. So in the last call that I showed you, that most people are not able to achieve financial success in a network marketing company business model. That is not because most people don't want it, they don't try it, they don't follow their upline's leads. It is simply not possible for everybody to be successful. And most people, I will show you the income disclosure statement from the United States in 2024 here again, most people are at the bottom ranks and they make barely anything. Now, unfortunately, they don't split this up by their ranks, but by income potential. And most people, you can see, make barely anything. Most people in the company very likely will end up in debt if they have to purchase the pricey fuelings and the programs over a certain period of time. And this is your typical team shaming. If you're not able to achieve success, it's because of you, because we give you all of the tools and all of these great tips, like take before and after pictures. That's a great tip. That's one of the tips they're going to give, or one of the facts they're going to give you. The company will pay you insane if you want to do the work. As if the people in the company are not capable to do the work. What we're missing here completely is good timing, market saturation, accepting the economy at the moment, and why it is so much harder to sell and interest people in overpriced programs. Who has the opportunity to spend $300, $400, or $500 each and every month just on fuelings, not even on real food, when the prices for everything goes up? You need to take a seat, people. And they're both shaking their cameras now. I could pop up a shake counter here as well. I won't do it, but it's now do or shake. Do we love it? Yeah.
But it really comes down to this. It's taking this amazing tool that is connected to people all over in all 50 states. And now the algorithm works for you. If you post up a little something, now you guys see in your Facebook feed, you'll like see who's Jill Smith and it says follow and it's Jill's baking a cake. Now your stuff shows up in non-friends feed and they're seeing anybody who, you ever notice that Facebook rewards people that's doing something cool? They are going to show it to people that they don't know that has like-minded interests. And so it's never been easier because of the tools, but it's never been harder because it truly demands congruency. And if you're willing to be congruent in your health, this company will pay you millions. And I think you and I are firsthand proof of it. All right, what are we on? Number 4?
4, yeah. Oh, I love this. Hit it, Doug. Hit it.
You've got to understand this.
Yes.
2,500 of you. I need you to understand this tonight. You are the number 1 metabolic reset coach. Start acting like it. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. Our company is the number 1 scientifically proven program. You are the number 1. People want to work with the best. You are the best. Start acting like it. I'm the number 1 metabolic reset coach in all of Arizona. I think the world, because
Me too.
I know I'm good. Our clients win, and Dan could argue for that title, but guess what? My circle knows that I'm number 1, and people are buying into that because you know what? They want to work with someone that's going to lead them, Dan.
That's it. They want somebody who's confident leading them. When you show up that way, that's exactly what I was talking about a few minutes ago. You believing in you. Doug, you believe in yourself more than 99.9% of the world believe in themselves, and it served you well. You know, I have number 1 metabolic reset coach in my bio or somewhere on I think my Facebook, and I had another coach. They were just messing with me. Their leader, they're probably on here, who messaged me or put a comment in and said, "Hey, how are you the number 1 metabolic reset coach if I'm the number 1 metabolic reset coach?" I said, "Well, I am. Just trust me, but you can be number 2. But just own it. Walk in it."
Yeah, you're good at what you do, guys. I don't care if you've worked. You know, like was it Tammy's iPad or Jill or something was saying, I've got one client I made $45.
Saw that.
I can't remember who you were. Oh, I'm so proud of you. I welcome you to this family. Keep going. You are number 1. You know what it's like. You've experienced this program. And if you need to borrow some of our belief, there it is. Nancy Warren. 1 client so far. Nancy, you know what you're doing. You are authorized and you have the skills. You have the company behind you to be the credibility while you're building this out. So we got you. I love it. I love it, Dan.
This is just another sign that the coaches, they're pretty much spewing bogus and non-professional advice. A metabolic reset, in case you're not aware what it is. The Medical News today wrote in an article considering the key takeaways. And here's the essential part. A metabolic reset is not a scientific procedure. Are we surprised? No. Instead, it involves various lifestyle and dietary changes that aim to improve a person's metabolic health and potentially lose body weight. None of these people are professionals or need to have an actual background in the field they work in now. They're in the recruitment industry, but it is being under the covers of health and wellness because they sell the Optavia programs. Weight loss and nutritious dietary choices can help people improve certain metabolic markers, including blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol levels. Nobody ever said you need to purchase fuelings from Optavia, highly processed, soy protein, very protein leaning products for a lot of money. That's the only way you can do dietary choices. There are other dietary choices you could make that don't include an MLM and that are a lot less pricey, where you actually learn to make better dietary choices. The exact process of a metabolic reset varies from person to person, but it can involve increased exercise, something that even Optavia doesn't recommend for their people, can involve dietary changes and intermittent fasting.
All right, I don't know what number we're on. We're just gonna
5.
keep going.
I don't
Number
know.
5. Dan, lead this one.
Oh
If you
yeah,
were on
yeah.
at the
Oh.
video in the beginning, Austin talked about at our Arizona Metabolic Reset event that, do you know how much money it costs for someone to maintain being overweight? Dan, speak to it.
Yeah, and I even think you can make a lot of logical arguments for this, but the biggest mistake, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. But the food costs, and a lot of you don't eat at fast food. Like I brought my kids or got Chick-fil-A for my kids a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, holy crap, a chicken sandwich costs how much? What the heck? People are out here paying this, and yet here's the key: coaches think this is expensive. As long as you think it's expensive, then you're going to project that. Here's where coaches miss it with this is you might be struggling financially or think that it's expensive. So when price comes up when you're talking to somebody, you flinch and they feel it. That's what kills the deal right there. When you own it and be like, "Oh my gosh, all right, can you believe?" I had somebody the other day tell me, "Oh, that's all that it costs?" Because I project that it's going to be thousands. I'm making them scared of the price before I ever tell them the price. I'm building so much value into this thing that when I drop the price, they're like, "Oh, really? That's it?" Yeah, I know. I can't believe it, but we better get in now because I don't know what it's going up to in 2026.
Yeah, but that's not the point. It is not your posture. It is that you don't want to define for your client who you want to sell something to. You don't want to define for that person if a product or a service is pricey or not. That is for your client to decide. And your job as a good salesperson is it to show the benefits of the product and why it might be worth the price. You cannot define for a customer if something is pricey or not. That completely depends on them, their subjective situation. And I would argue to spend $5,000 if you take this over an entire year for fuelings and a program from non-professionals without any actual food or any drinks. That is a very, very pricey endeavor. A lot of people can feed themselves and their families with $400 to $450 a month. That is a lot of money on nothing. You're purchasing nothing. Very few products, very little calories, lots of protein. That's why they call their stuff fuelings and not even food. Food is not included in that program. $5,000 a year on something that is not food can be a lot of money to some, and it can be little on others. But you need to make your client make that decision, your potential customer. You don't make that decision for your client. It's not about your posture. Yes, you have to be somewhat convincing and good at sales, but it is your job to try to explain to your potential client why, in your opinion, it is worth it. What are the benefits of that program? And then you need to close that deal. That's really the thing. It's this brainwashy thing yet again. Well, if your posture is wrong, you're not able to sell to other people. That's why you're not successful here. So you're not following the program, and that's why you're not able to rise in the ranks. It's the typical gaslighty bullshit we hear over and over and over again.
So you just own it. It's more than worth it, right? What do they get out of the deal?
I need everyone to understand tonight. There's been this thing called inflation in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Optavia's had no inflation. Our program is now officially cheap. 4 years ago, I would have said like, oh, everyone can afford it if they want to. Guys, it's $400 a month. Don't sugarcoat it. Do not apologize for it. I'm not saying all of America can afford it, because there are some very impoverished areas of the country. But we're not for the 1 out of 10, we're for the 9 out of 10. And let's just say the bottom 2 out of 10 literally just can't find a way to pay for it. 7 out of 10 of your friends and your family need the program. And if it was important to them, they can lay their hands on it. What else are they eating? And here's where I want to challenge us all. A 3.0 coach leans in around price. When you lean in, how much are you spending? Oh, well, 300 a month. Nobody really is, but I'm at 300. Great. So $100 more invested a month to actually get to where you want to go would actually be the answer to your prayers. Is that what I'm hearing? Like, you need to lean in. We need to not just overcome objections. We need to bury them. We need to, as coaches, we need to say, I don't believe you. You just told me that you want to be around for your kids. I don't believe what you're telling me right now, because you're starting to actually get close to becoming accountable to reaching your goals and dreams and being there for your kids and getting off the park bench and getting onto the slide with them. And the closer you're moving towards accountability, I feel you giving me smoke screens. See, a coach today, the number one metabolic reset coach, does not take excuses. We lean in. We stay because we care so much that we're like, no, because their circle, their family, ooh, let's not upset mom. Let's cater around dad's little bad mood and emotions today. No, a coach can come in and be like, no, bro, you're 50 years old. It's time for you to get off the sidelines. Your family needs you in the game, and you call them higher, Dan, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
You're an entitled little bitch if you talk to potential clients like that, and I hope that most people hold themselves to a higher standard than saying, yeah, you're right. If a salesperson speaks to you like that, hang up, leave, block the person. And the example he gave here is completely stupid, and it is not fitting. It is uneducated, if you will. So if you spend $300 each and every month on groceries, then you just spend another 100 to 150 and you're able to change your life. What we're not recognizing here is that there is no food included in that program. You get your fuelings, but each and every day you also cook your own lean green meal, which means it is a meal that is high in protein, but this time actual food, and high in vegetables, very likely, very low in carbs. But that's pricey. You gotta pay for your chicken, you gotta pay for your fish, you gotta pay for your chickpeas, whatever it is that you want to do with your lean green meal. Salads can be pricey, all of the fresh produce can be pricey. You can also get frozen food and frozen vegetables. I like that. I always have that at hand in my freezer, but those are also not cheap. So to claim 300 plus another 100 or 150 and you're good to go, you're set, is wrong, because you still need to purchase the actual product. What is not included is, for example, coffee if you want a coffee, or milk if you want that, or sweetener, or God forbid if you might want to drink your coffee with sugar, or if you want to treat yourself to a low-calorie lemonade, or if you want to drink your tea with a shot of lemon, something like that. None of that is included, and not your one real meal in the day that you might consume if you take their most popular plan, which is the 5+1. Eat 5 overpriced fuelings that apparently taste like cardboard, according to YouTubers and according to people who have tried it, who are not connected to Optavia and who gave their testimonial, plus the one lean green meal you have to do. You will spend more than your average amount and more than 100 and 150 bucks on top of that, because actual food is not included. You will very likely spend around $700, if we take that math, each and every month. That is expensive for some people. Do not decide for your audience if it is expensive or not. Don't make any excuses. Yes, show the benefits, what you believe the benefits of a product are, and then not at the very beginning, but maybe towards the middle or towards the end, drop the amount of money after you've already warmed up your audience, but never define for your audience if it is pricey or not. And don't tell people, no, you're lying. You don't want to die tomorrow because you don't join Optavia, right? You have a responsibility towards your family. If somebody speaks to you like that, close the door. Tell them goodbye. And when they're able to apologize, if they're friends or family of yours, then they might be able to talk to you again. Absolutely not acceptable. That is not a truth teller. That is somebody who desperately just wants to sell his overpriced products that most people simply don't want.
Yeah, I mean, why does somebody pay $450 a month for a car payment? because they think they need that car. Well, they don't need their health. Their kids don't need them around. There's so many different angles you can come at this.
Yeah, absolutely not. If you live somewhere in the middle of nowhere, or you need to travel a good amount each and every day, especially in the United States, you very likely need a car. There are areas where you don't need one. But what is he proposing here? Well, do you need your car and your car payment with $400 to $450 each and every month? Why don't you sell the car? Come on over and actually save your life. Imagine that a salesperson asks you, it's like a genius, sell your TV to join my team. Ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous to come up with ideas like that. Do you really need your car? Are you sure? Yeah? You've got to travel to your job 50 miles each and every day. Can't you just leave your home a little bit early and just walk there? Or I don't know, you have friends who have a helicopter or a plane. We will figure it out. Just drop your car payments. Listen to yourselves, people. You're ridiculous.
But it's usually a smokescreen. It really is. If you were just think about this. If you were offering them a $100,000 Mercedes or Land Rover for this price, would they be able to find the $450? Yeah, because they'd see the value in it. Like, oh, that's a good deal.
No.
But they're not. This has to be said, Doug. They're not really afraid of spending the money if they believed. It's not even that they don't believe it works. Here's what most objections point back to. And so I hit this head on. They points back to they have failed so many things.
Yes.
They don't believe that they are going to be able to do it. So they don't want to waste another $450. So the way you can deal with that is address that. When you get to the close of your call, or you're talking to somebody and say, hey, listen, I know it, I know it's not priced, because I mean, this is one of the least expensive things you could do out there. You can't even eat every day for this. I know it's not whether or not it works, because we have all the clinical studies, all the receipts, you've seen all the pictures. I mean, I know that's not what it is. But I want to tell you what I know is the one thing that'll hold you back. And that is you not being sure that you will be able to do it. Can I tell you something? That's why this program was designed. So it can be simple enough. That's why there's a coach in your corner. That's why there's a community, so that we can answer that question. So I dealt with 3 or 4 of the smokescreen objections, and then hit the one that really matters.
Yeah.
But you tell them this was made for that, then they're like, oh, okay, all right, he knows where I'm at.
Yeah.
No, and it's not a smokescreen. For some people, $400 to $450 is just too much in a month. And it's not necessarily that people don't believe they can't do it. Yeah, some won't believe they're able to lose weight because they've been burned in the past, and because they didn't learn how to actually feed themselves and how to work out and how to deal with food. Yeah, of course, that can also be the case. But it's another program. It is just another program that promises you success if you just follow the steps, and it's really pricey as well. But there's no guarantee that you will be able to succeed, neither in the business model nor in this thing. And it is something, if you think about it, that you might need to be on for your entire life, because if you severely undereat for a certain period of time and you spend the $400 to $450 a month on these products, once you get off these products, you will start to gain again. And then you have a coach, not experienced, not a professional in their field, in the medical and health field. These are regular people. What did he say? He was in the army, and he was a police officer. I think the person on the bottom, that's what he said in the call before. That's what his profession was. That means he's not a medical expert, not a doctor, not a registered dietitian. I took a look at the Instagram from the person top who's now in this call, and that individual's wife. There was also no mention that they have actual credentials, that they're personal trainers, that they're registered dietitians. So you have a lay human that wants to sell you on these programs, that wants to keep you on these programs, and that wants to recruit you, who want to guide you afterwards to reset your life, to reset your body. First, you need to lose the weight, then you need to keep the weight off, and then you need to build a muscle. And none of these people are professionals in any of this. All this program offers you is pricey food to severely undereat, to really have a very low caloric intake each and every day. Of course, most people with that little calorie, if they severely undereat, most people will lose weight. But to keep that weight afterwards, when you haven't learned how to live a more balanced lifestyle because you didn't put in the work yourself, or you didn't work with professionals who helped you to put in the work yourself, then you will bounce back again. And then you will have to get on the program again. And then you bounce back again. And then you have to get back on the program. These coaches, what are they supposed to help you with? Get more fuelings. That is why most people don't want to join. It's too pricey, it's not reliable, it's just another program, and none of these people have to be medical professionals, workout professionals, or dietary professionals. That's the secret. Oh, and did I mention it's also a network marketing company? Yeah, that might also contribute to people not wanting to sign up.
And lastly on this, we're going to go to the next one is, if you're coming up against price a lot, you're fishing in the wrong pond. And when you fish in the wrong pond, you start to actually believe what that pond is telling you. And so your confidence hinders. Okay. So remove yourself from that pond and start finding people that value themselves.
So don't listen to outsiders who might tell you that you're selling a program that is just too pricey for what it is and that you're caught up in a bad business model. Don't listen to them. Just stay in this bubble. Listen to us, not to them. Very healthy approach to life in general.
Self and their health. All right. So the other one is your confidence has got to be so strong that it doesn't, like, you don't get wavered. Which is why you got to stay in the fight with someone. It's like expensive.
Yeah. Don't listen to the facts.
This is not expensive. Like, you got to maintain that. So, which is why you don't want to keep sharing with people, because you will start changing your pitch and the way you approach it. And then you'll start be like, well, it's only $4 a meal. It's like nobody's swiping their credit card with Optavia for $4 per meal. So you might as well just like kind of pop the balloon and be like, it's $400 a month, because there's no way they can buy per box. I mean, they can, but shipping would be insane. So I would invite you as a 3.0 coach, kind of get over like making it sound cheap and better than it is. At the end of the day, you're swiping their card for $400. So however you need to get there with confidence, just cut right through that noise and don't apologize for it. All right, number 6. You coach
Go ahead.
the number one scientifically proven program that the average American can actually afford and do.
Yet again, another general blatant statement. How do you know that the average American in 2026 can afford $400 to $450 each and every month? Not on food, but on fuelings. It's just a statement. It's meaningless.
Dan, we beat price up. Only thing I want to say on this one, and then you can take it, is we are scientifically proven, and now you can actually share the story that is true and that is yours. If it has helped reduce your type 2 diabetes, you can finally share it because it's scientifically proven, Dan.
Actually, you are a scientifically proven bullshitter in a program. I would like an A. Can I purchase an A, please, for the gentleman on this call? An A, please. An A+ would be nice for scientifically proven programs. Do we have an A? No? Okay, let's just continue with the scientifically proven nothingness.
Yeah, I love what the new before and afters are. The stories, it's your lab work, it's your body scans. It's not just the picture. It's that look in your eyes, all of that. And that's what we're doing right now, is building everyone's new stories in 2026. And if you're not building your story and don't have that confidence, it's hard. You flinch, you hesitate when you get to these things because you don't fully believe them yourself or believe that it's possible. So your own health is a huge part of this.
That's right. Number 7, we target fat loss, not weight loss. Simply said, I want to just encourage everybody, because our last slide is about getting loud. As we get loud, we target fat loss. That changes the conversation and makes you number one metabolic reset coach. Because what makes you number one is we target fat loss. Who wants to lose weight? People are finding that they're finding their weight again with less muscle. Their body fat is higher at the same weight. And they're like, wait a minute, what happened? They didn't change their habits. So we target fat loss, not weight loss.
Yeah, I talked to somebody just yesterday who's a new coach. She became coach today, but knew she was joining today. She was naming through some people who she was going to talk to. And one of them, she said, I have this friend I work with, and she works out all the time, but the scale is not losing. And I was able to say, no, this is perfect. That's not the way to lose weight. And we talked a little bit about visceral fat, and say we specifically target that visceral fat first, the most dangerous fat. I guarantee she's going to lose weight. It happens through nutrition. So just because they're working out and they can't figure it out, how many of you tried to lose weight before with cardio on your way out of it? Oh my gosh, that's a losing battle. tons of those people, gym rats out there that need some help losing fat, not just weight.
And that's not true. Cardio is not a lost game, but you need to do both cardio and you need to lift weight. Excuse me. Optavia is calling. Hello? Yeah? Excuse me. Yeah, I'm talking about the target fat loss, not weight loss, because that is wrong. How do you target fat loss? You cannot do that. Well, but in that case, people will just lose weight because your fuelings are really just low in calories, so that has nothing to do with fat loss. Yeah, that's also not true though, because if you go to the gym and if you do cardio, that is very healthy for a human being, but you might also need to do some weightlifting to build muscle mass as well, and that is still a proven system to go and not Optavia. Yeah, I know, it's a hard sell. $400 to $450 each and every month. How do you tell your clients that? Yeah, I know, that's tricky. Hey, I gotta get back. I'm still filming, but thanks for calling in. All right, yeah. Exactly. See you then. Bye-bye. That was an Optavia coach. Doesn't approve of me pointing out that this is bogus, because when you have before and after pictures and it's about people losing weight to show that they lost weight, then it's about weight loss. There is a proven formula how over time you can also lose fat, but you need to do cardio and you also should do weightlifting because that's really good for the body, and it's good because you can build muscle. And if you have more muscle than fat, then you're also able to burn more calories overall. So the resolution is not necessarily to join Optavia if you really want to live a healthy life. The solution is to work out regularly, a sport that you love, then also lift some weights if you can. That is very, very helpful, and watch out for your diet. And you don't need to join Optavia to do that.
Yeah. I believe we're moving to number 9. Nope, this is number 8.
Especially if you do cardio, you will also lose. They're not pros, they're not professionals. Please contact a medical professional, a workout professional, or a dietary professional before you do any of these things. Okay, don't rely on an Optavia coach who has no professional credential in this at all.
This is our sweet spot. Coach and promote from it. Okay, I want to pause here. This is our sweet spot. Take a screenshot. We are not trying to target the ultra healthy elite that has, how do I build muscle? I mean, do we have a program for it? Do we have some supplements? Yes. That is not your sweet spot.
Is he
Give that to
taking
the
a
one-hour plan.
screenshot?
Give that to the online fitness coach. Give that to the trainer at the gym.
Oh man.
Stay in our lane. We have a scientifically proven program for 9 out of 10 Americans. 9 out of 10. That probably does not mean the person that's eating whole foods, that's eating too much whole foods. I only eat organic. Yeah, clearly they're eating a lot of organic. Don't have that conversation in the 3.0 era in early January. You are looking for the people who are looking for you, and this is where America's at. I flew home from New York yesterday. I was in upstate New York, all over JFK and Phoenix International Airport. I got off the plane. I haven't posted the video because I know I'm going to put it up now because I told you guys I would. I'm not going to have fear. Someone's going to accuse me of probably not being very nice. But I got off the airplane, Dan, and the amount of wheelchairs sitting there lined up, waiting to take people off of these planes. And I said, America has a problem, and we need to do something about it. It made me mad. I'm like, this is the problem in America, and we have the solution, and we have the answers, and everything that those people were in those wheelchairs for that couldn't walk off the plane on their own was connected to our sweet spot.
How do you know that? How do you know when you take a look at a person in a wheelchair that might be overweight that is the reason why they're in that wheelchair? And I don't doubt that the United States has a problem with people who are severely overweight. I witnessed that myself. And the United States very likely is the country where I've seen the most obese people, and a lot of the people. And the country also caters to those people. I think it's kind of its own industry. So nobody doubts that, especially the United States, have a problem with people who are overweight. But number one, to point out people who get off a plane because they're in a wheelchair, and you know with your eyes, just from looking at them from the outside, you know that it's due to them being overweight. That is a completely unprofessional, uneducated statement. First and foremost, it speaks, in my opinion, to the unprofessionalism of these people. That's what they're being taught, right? It's a brainwashing session. It's a cult. I have no doubt about it. And Optavia doesn't stop this. None of these people need to be professionals, because no doctor, no nurse, no person working in the medical field that has some work ethics would say, I can diagnose you just from the outside. You might have certain suspicions if you have an understanding. My sister is a nurse, and just from looking at people, she has an understanding what they might be very likely going through if they walk in a certain way. I'm not going to go into details, but she has that. She has that experience. She worked decades in the medical field, but she would never diagnose a person on the street based on just taking a look, but she has suspicion. So that already speaks to the unprofessionalism. And yeah, in the United States, a lot of severely overweight people live there. Optavia is not the solution. Optavia is a pricey network marketing company that offers pricey programs and pricey fuelings to people who are vulnerable. That is their core expertise. In my opinion, not offering an actual program that works. It's very toxic. Those statements are very toxic. And it's not a good approach to selling the program to people or trying to recruit people. But if there's just one person vulnerable enough, then that's a person we could get. That's what they're aiming at the person in the wheelchair, the person who needs an additional income stream. And if it's just one person out of 300, then they have grown their team and they were able to get a client in. But 299 people will say no because they realize this is bullshit or because they're not vulnerable. MLMs, including Optavia, prey on the vulnerable.
This is where we win, folks. And this is where you need to promote and share from. So when you're too sophisticated, cousin who's an online fitness coach that only eats organic, good for her. She's helping her little circle of top 10%. And I do not say that disrespectfully, because some of my best friends are online fitness coaches. They just cater to a very, very small, ultra healthy, perfect people that make a lot of money, that have $800 to $1,000 a month.
Not really. Come on. You're pitching a program that costs between $400 and $450 on the fuelings alone. You're not better than that. You're not pitching to other people. You're pitching to everybody who thinks they might need that. For $400 to $450, you could get an online coach. You could get a coach who could guide you through your workout each and every month. For that amount of money, you could also get some food on top of that. Riddle me that. Or you could get a professional registered dietitian to help you, or you could even get medical guidance for that amount of money. To claim that the others are so pricey but Optavia is not is asinine. That is just for the program. The food, the actual food, is not included. Your workouts are not included. So if you decide I'm also going to join a gym, or I need support with working out, I need certain equipment, more expenses are connected to that. You're not better. You're not less pricey.
To eat organic and meal prep all day. We are for the average American that needs us, Dan.
Yeah, I wish when they talk about average lifespan, I wish they would also include health span, because someone might be like, yeah, I'll think about it, when I get into my 60s, when I get into, if your average lifespan is let's say 77, 78, I don't know what it is these days, you got to subtract 10 years from that of not being healthy, of being sick all the time, of being in and out of hospitals, of medications, of having to have that wheelchair to get off the airplane. I don't think people think about that. They should lower that lifespan and be like, hey, you'll probably be alive for 20 more years, but you really only got about 8 good ones left. So let's focus on those.
Yeah, they should lower that to tell you about people's health span, because it is of advantage for Optavia coaches. Do you hear yourself, man?
And number 9. If no one knows who you are and what you can do for them, you can't help them. Friends, it's time to get loud. It is time to be unapologetic. It is time to understand what you have in your hands. It is time to do your 3.0 story and take it seriously. This is your reset or renew moment.
Yeah.
We got to put these things to work tonight when people are at their most vulnerable state. We got to put them to work tonight, Dan.
Exactly. On January 1st, we need to reach out to the most vulnerable. That's disgusting, but truthful and disgusting. Truthfully disgusting.
Dan.
Yeah, and if I get on a little soapbox for just a second, let me ask you all this. What percentage of the people that you have some type of connection with in your life do you want to reach? Put it in the chat. What percentage of those people? All I want you to do is think about, yes, the algorithms will introduce you to new people. That's great. But what percentage of people that you're already connected with will never see your post, no matter how loud you get, how many times you go live, how many reels you do? 25% is very generous. Much, much lower than that. So my question is this, just food for thought. How do you get loud to the people who are not seeing your posts?
The irony, it's food for thought, yeah, because Optavia doesn't even offer real food. So it's only food for thought.
Or maybe they're not even on social media. We're coming to a day where we need to be proactive and reach out to people.
There are so many food puns you can do with Optavia. I will do that in the next videos.
Like before there was social media, it doesn't mean you have to be a jerk or you have to be spammy. But if you really believe in this, there's ways to reach out and offer your help to people.
Yeah, you got this. Piece of cake. Not able to eat the piece of cake when you're an Optavia or a coach, but piece of cake. You can do it. Food for thought.
I just think that's really important. I think that gives everyone a lever that they can control in their business beyond just the algorithms. I'm not saying skip social media. It starts there. That's how you build trust. That's a really important part of this. But if you want to double or triple your business, who else can you go to outside of social media?
There should have been a number 10, so I'm going to leave you with number 10.
An apple a day keeps the Optavia coach away. Now I cannot get these stupid sayings out of my head. We're almost done. Don't worry. We're almost done.
And then Chris is going to play the video that I opened with actually before the call started. Some of you missed it. So I'm going to let just kind of that play towards the end. But before he plays that, if I was to write a number 10, it would say action. It would say, I need to get into action. I need 3.0 is from moving from defensive to playing offensive. 3.0 is no longer saying, let's see what Optavia can do for me or where they're taking this 3.0 era. And then I'll see if I want to get involved. See, 3.0 is about ask not what Optavia can do for you, but what I can be and lead and what I can do for Optavia, what I can do for the 3.0 movement. I've heard many people say.
So we're now utilizing political phrases to sell Optavia? Don't think what Optavia can do for you. Think what you can do for Optavia. That's embarrassing.
On the calls like, gosh, I wish there was more men. Why aren't there many men trainers? I don't know. I'd sure love some more men. I've heard, gosh, I wish there were more couple trainers. I don't know. We need some more women or some more couples in 3.0. I've been on some calls that is men dominated, and we need more women stepping up. I don't know. We need more women stepping up. America, the harvest, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. If we were going to get into action, I believe it is time to do that. Dan, any closing remarks, and then we'll close with that video.
No, I just want to agree. All those bonuses y'all saw during that call, every one of you on here every one of us has access to those. And it really comes down to the action that we put in. That's it.
Yeah. God bless everybody. Good night.
Optavia sucks. That's my takeaway. Let's not get fooled by this, also not in 2026. I have been filming now for 2 hours and 40 minutes and I'm hungry. It is 1:30 my time, so I will get real food into my belly right now and then I will film some more. That's my plan. And no, don't worry. It will not be an Optavia fueling. It will be real food because that's also how you can feed your body. And it's not going to be high in soy protein. I will very likely make a cheese sandwich with salad, bell pepper, and tomato. See how easy it is to create a good meal that doesn't have to be that pricey. That's my plan for now. I'm actually getting really hungry. So we will finish this video. Let me know your thoughts. Will this training allow Optavia coaches to be really successful in 2026? To me, it sounded like typical ill-advised team and training calls that we have seen so many times over the past, what is it now, 3 years that I do these videos? That was your typical MLM debauchery. That is just ridiculous. And if you hear sirens in the background, the emergency services are really active today because I filmed 2 Optavia videos. So thank you for listening in. Thank you for your time. Subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And hopefully I will see you in my next video. Until then, cheers!